I'm Jake Sanderson.
I'm Tim Stützle, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are listening to the Postcast, presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and our friends at the Glebe Central Pub. Make sure to check out the GCP, where the vibes are free at 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you, and you'll get 10% off your order on Senators game days. They've also got the Send Shuttle, just $17 round trip to and from the CTC. A reminder that 7 of the last 8 games this season are on home ice. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller. Martian on his way back from the CTC, where he witnessed a complete disaster. Pilsy, the chat wants to talk about the out-of-town scoreboard more than they want to talk about a 5-1 loss to the Colorado Avalanche.
I mean, what a blessing the out-of-town scoreboard has been so far, and looks like it will continue to be, Ross. We'll keep an eye on games here, but yeah, the Sens did themselves no favors in this one. A 5-1 loss to the Colorado Avalanche. This game was over so quickly, and it was just out of reach. This was as easy a win as the Colorado Avalanche will get in their entire season, in my opinion. It's been a while, Ross, since we've seen a complete collapse like this by the Sens, and that was tough to watch.
My expectations were low, but holy beep. That's how I feel about this one. We basically gave the Colorado Avalanche the win tonight, this morning on LOSP. We're extremely complimentary, and boy, did they make us look good. Don't let McKinnon get hot. He scores the first goal of the game. Don't let Makar have control on the power play. He gets one, bar down. And objectively, that was a perfect shot by Cale Makar on that goal.
Brock Nelson was my lookout player.
Two tucks for him. Is that good? And this is beyond the LOSP stats department, but could somebody please find out if that was the first time in Senators history that they've been scored on in 3 consecutive shots with no empty netters?
I mean, might I remind you, Yunus Korpisalo was this team's goalie. So it's certainly possible, but yeah, that was just absolutely brutal. I mean, we can get into the thick of the goaltending conversation if you want, or is there more you want to tee up here?
No, I'm just I'm so thankful that the chat is the best. Joel is saying 3-1 Islanders. We're getting score updates from the Montreal New York Islanders game live in the chat. So that's very good. Very good. But yeah, I just think that they started well. My key to victory tonight, Billsy, was have a good start. They did. They're out shooting the Avalanche 6-1 in this game. They were cycling. Then they hit the post when I think it was down 1-0, if not 2 at that point. Like, I still felt like they were in it. But once the third goal went in and you're like 3 shots in a row, you're like, oh boy, we're in one tonight. And then the fourth one, it's like, okay, curtains. Let's try some things. And that's probably where a lot of this postcast will be. What Travis Green tried to do with the lineup. He moved Zetterland up, but we'll get to that later. This game, though, it fell apart. They scored 4 goals in exactly 7 minutes, Billsy. That's absurd.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is, Ross, like you mentioned, the Sens got off to a great start, outshooting them 6-1. They were buzzing. And then the Avalanche started to push back. And I actually thought the Sens were doing a good job holding them back. Like, it didn't look like, okay, immediately the Avs are coming and they're going to have an avalanche of goals here. But they were holding them. And then it's like that. It's like building a dam with twigs. You're like, okay, this is working. Oh, God. And the flood just bursted through, and that was it. Like, they didn't have any chance. Look, personally, I thought, and I had this marked on the calendar weeks ago, Ross, this was a game that Anton Forsberg should have started, in my opinion, because
he was good.
Yeah, I thought he was good. But also just, especially after losing that Habs game, Allmark had been playing a lot here. This is a game where if you lose this game, it's not huge effect as far as an Eastern Conference team or even further a wild card team or Atlantic team beating you. So I thought this was a game you could have started Forsberg. If you lose, you probably didn't have that good of a chance anyways. But if you win, then it's ultimate confidence boost. So I don't know.
You know what I'm laughing at?
No clue.
The Ottawa Senators in the building named Anton Forsberg the third star of this game.
Nice. Hey, I like it. If you got the power to do that, then go for it. I mean, 18 of 19 shots saved, 947 save percentage. Spot the lie, Ross.
How many minutes did he play?
42-31.
Okay. Well, in that 42-31, he made more saves than the Senators had shots in this game, Pilsy.
Forsey had a better save percentage than Scott Wedgwood. Just like to point that one out.
Hey, the shutout breaker at the end of a blowout game is always so funny to me.
It was a nice goal by Dylan Cousins, though. And hey, Timmy and Sanderson, they get a power play point. That's always nice.
40th assist of the season for Jake Sanderson.
Yeah, so.
He had 38 points last year, for those wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. This is tough for Allmark because obviously it's not a great look for him, but I'm not putting a lot of this blame on
Not
Allmark.
a lot, but two of them went through him.
Which ones?
Was the McKinnon one.
I mean, that's Nathan McKinnon.
It went through him. And then I think it was the first Brock Nelson one, if I'm not mistaken. Makar's one, there's no chance. Like we talked all morning about how
screening him completely. Like there's no he can't even see it.
Dude, that down straight down. Like when the kids say that went bar down, that was bar down.
Yeah, even if he saw that one, I don't think he's getting it. I mean, yeah, the Nelson, the first and Nelson second one.
Hell yeah, chat's got my back.
That was a decent shot, though, and I mean, Hamonic, that was not the right play to pinch on the board like that either. But
no, Hamonic was back to his old self tonight.
Yeah, and then I think the Spinorama one is probably the worst one, the Kiviranta one, the one where he gets pulled, because that one had no juice on it, and all you have to do is be in your butterfly, and you probably have that one. But this really should have been a night where I took the Allmark jersey down behind me and left that one blank because I've got
just blank.
Yeah,
or flip it to the logo. No players.
Yeah, or maybe you know what I should have done? And
upside down.
I'm upset that I'm going to reveal this because it would be funny without revealing it. I got a Sens practice jersey up. I should have put the Sens practice jersey in. Time for a bag skate, boys. Maybe work on clearing pucks out of the zone here.
Yeah, we got to clean that up in an absolute hurry. So it was a complete beatdown tonight. There's no two ways about it. The Ottawa Senators just completely kicked to the curb by a superior team that dominates Ottawa. I mean, this is the Colorado Avalanche 6th straight win against the Ottawa Senators. 5-1, the final score. The Colorado Avalanche double up Ottawa on the shot clock, 32-16. And again, the Senators were out shooting Colorado 6-1 in this game. Math guy, that's 26-10 the rest of the way for the Avalanche. Colorado goes 2 for 4 on the power play. Ottawa goes 1 for 2. Colorado, 56% of the faceoffs, a rare night where the Senators are below 50% and by a mile have you. Ottawa with 18 blocks to 20 for Colorado. Senators with 35 hits to 17 for the Avalanche because they didn't have the puck all game. And the Avalanche was 62.3% of the expected goals at 5-on-5. I don't think we need to overanalyze this one. It was a good old-fashioned ass-kicking by the Avalanche, a team that came in here pissed off after the way that the game went in Toronto last night. As I tweeted out to our friends over at Locked On Avalanche, we'll see you in June. We'll see you in June.
I don't know. I don't want to see him in June, Ross.
No.
They got to make it out of the first round. Like, this is a good team, but like we talked about, they're either getting Dallas or Vegas, and neither of those will be easy.
No, they won't. But it was easy for them tonight, and they get performances from their new guys. Brock Nelson with 2 goals in this game. You had an assist from Marty Necas, who I guess isn't that new anymore. And Charlie Coyle had an assist. However,
still no goals.
Charlie Coyle, no goals tonight. And if you missed it on the broadcast, and we actually pointed it out when Boston was in town last week. We love this stat. Charlie Coyle has now played 31 games against the Ottawa Senators, and he has 0 goals. 17 assists, but 0 goals in 31 games. The closest else, he has 2 goals in 28 games against Anaheim, but like 0 goals in 31 games, like not even one off the shin pad.
That Gord Miller mentioned it, but that is the most games played against the Ottawa Senators with 0 goals
I don't believe
among
that.
active NHLers.
Oh, okay, among active. I was like, there's no
Active.
way that like a Brian McCabe or, like a long-term defenseman who played in the division forever. McCabe's probably a bad example because he played in the power play. But like, I don't know. I can't think of anybody right now. But like, like a Radko Gudas type player who hadn't played more than 30 games against Ottawa. Who has played the most games against Ottawa without scoring a goal?
I'm trying to think of a defensive defenseman on like Buffalo or something.
Yeah. That's a question for our friend John Perlberg with TSN. I'm going to send him a DM and ask him that. For now, I will tell you about the Glebe Central Pub because the Postcast wouldn't exist, win or lose. We are here after games because of the Glebe Central Pub. You can find them at 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. The vibes are free at the GCP. If you're looking for something to do tonight, they've got the Canada-Mexico game on. And with that said, we know that the vibes are going to be immaculate at the pub, whether the Sens are playing or whether it is another sporting event. They always want to make sure that it feels like a home crowd at the GCP. And they also have the Sen Shuttle, and the Sen Shuttle is honestly the best way to get to games. We use it all the time when we come to Ottawa. You can go to their website, glebecentralpub.com. Just click events and the Sens bus. They've got their tickets available on the website right there for the remaining games in April as well. So get your tickets for the March 29th game against Columbus, and then April dates will be available now on glebecentralpub.com. So head to where the vibes are free. That's the GCP. Let them know that Locked On Senators sent you, and you'll get 10% off your order at glebecentralpub.com and at 779 Bank Street. The vibes are free at the GCP. Did you know getting a good night's sleep is the #1 recipe for long-term success in life? I didn't. It took me way longer to realize than I'd like to admit. It was years of tossing and turning. I was always tired. I never felt like I could live up to my potential, but not anymore. Thanks to Bear Mattress. I used their sleep quiz and I matched with the Elite Hybrid. It's perfect for side sleepers like me. Now I wake up energized. I'm getting deeper sleeps and I'm ready to attack the day. No matter how you sleep, Bear Mattress has a match for you with a focus on recovery, cooling, and pressure relief to upgrade your sleep and improve your overall quality of life. Go to bearmattress.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL at checkout for 40% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. You have to use my promo code on the very last page of checkout to get this discount. That's bearmattress.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 40% off site-wide. Bearmattress.com, promo code LOCKEDONNHL. All right, welcome back to the Postcast. Always have a laugh at that after seeing it all across the network, but on our show, coming out of my own ad, pre-recorded, is hilarious. But check out Bear Mattress. They are awesome. Pilsy, I see you've made the change behind you. No longer do we see the Linus Ullmark jersey. We got a circa 2008 to 2020 practice jersey. That's how bad things were, eh?
We talk about practice now, Ross, because after a game like that, this team needs to get some practice in them. I will not give any player the prestige, the honor of being in Pilsy's podcast studio jersey frame. It's we're going back to the 3D logo, and we're going back to practice here.
I threw my hat. If you can squint, you can actually see it hanging on top of Camelback Mountain.
Camelback Mountain, nice.
Yeah, Camelback only had one hump, and we're looking at a 2-game hump for the Ottawa Senators, back-to-back games where it was complete drubbing. Oh my goodness. It's 3-2 Pilsy in the Montreal game. We're watching that in the background. We'll do that third segment. We'll see where it's at right now. But let's do a Send Central standout. You got one from a 5-1 loss? There's one guy for me that stood out.
Well, if you're passing it to me, I'm going Forsberg. 947 save percentage. He come into a game cold. He was pretty good. The only goal he allowed was a power play goal. Not much he could do on it either. It's a redirect off a skate. Or was it a power play goal?
Yeah, well, it wasn't initially, and then they changed it. They're like, you know what? Sure.
Yeah, who cares at this point? So you know what? I'll give it to Forsberg there. Again, I thought he should have been the guy that started this game, but it doesn't really matter, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I'll go with the guy who got more opportunity as the game went on. I thought Fabian Zetterland was good. He had one great chance in the third period. And like, the bar is not high tonight, but I thought Fabian Zetterland played well. He was using his feet. He was physical at times. I think our guy Everyday Sends just put out a little stat pack on him. Thank you, Everyday Sends. Brennan, beauty. You guys are already following him on Twitter. Played just over 16 minutes in tonight's game. Led all forwards in expected goals percentage with 56. Had led all forwards in high danger scoring chances. Had a 7-6 shot differential when he was on the ice. And when you got outshot the way they did tonight, being up at 5-on-5, incredible. He had one shot on goal, 3 attempts, 1 hit, 1 block. And the line of Tkachuk, Stützle, and Zetterland produced an expected goals percentage of 71%. Now, that was score effects as well, right? When you're up 5-0, you put a line together, you're not going to be like, oh, wow, we got to keep that together. But would you start Saturday in New Jersey? Revenge game for Fabian Zetterland, might I add. Would you start him on a line with Tkachuk and Stützle?
As long as Brady's not offside as much as he was on that opportunity. Oh my God, Timmy with the sneaky backhand pass in the neutral zone. Fabian Zetterland off to the races, but I don't know what happened there. Brady Tkachuk was 5 feet offside. Zetterland even stopped and slowed, and his momentum was too much. He would have had a clear breakaway. That would have been such a nice way for him to get a good opportunity. So that was disappointing there. But I will say, I don't think Travis Green is going to change the lineup.
Me neither.
Yeah. Would I do it? Possibly. I think what I would do is I would put Zetterland on that top line on the right wing, move Giroux onto the third line on the right wing, and have Amadio play fourth line. I think that makes most sense.
Yeah, and I feel like now's the perfect opportunity. There were games on this winning streak where they hadn't played particularly well, but found a way to win. The Detroit game jumps out. Obviously, that was a Linus Ullmark win. And then you get a power play goal with 5 minutes left. But this is the perfect excuse, if for nothing else, to throw your lines in a blender. And I appreciate
I don't know about a full blender.
Fair. Yeah. The Cousins, Perron, and Batherson line can stay together. Even though it's a power play goal in this one, I still thought they were fine. I like how Perron was up to his greasy old tricks, getting that. He got Malinsky taken off with him, but Malinsky didn't do anything. He got mugged. So I appreciated that. And we'll see. I think Ridley Gregg and Claude Giroux could be a nice little 1-2. And maybe because we don't see it on the power play anymore, maybe we get one of those little in tight passing plays from Giroux to Pinto for a good opportunity, hopefully. And Aaliyah Minator, I really like this point. I was going to bring it up as well. If Nick Jensen can't play, it's time to get Hammer out of the lineup. And even if not, I wouldn't mind seeing Clevin sit for one game. Like, I just think it's time to get Dennis Gilbert in for a game. Played one game, played 10 minutes? And
that was 11-7.
Exactly. So I'd like to see Gilbert come in for a game 2 on Saturday. We know that New Jersey's a bigger, harder, forechecking type team. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. You can let us know in the comments any other lineup notes that you would like to see. We'll cover it later on in the show. We also have a great show tomorrow. The man, myth, rookie, Jackson Starr will join. I'm excited to catch up with him. We see him do the Sens 360 from the Senators accounts, but we don't know who the heck he is. So I'm excited to have a casual, fun conversation with Jackson Starr. Tomorrow's episode's recording at 4 p.m. Eastern, though, so expect that later in the day, or you can catch up on it on Saturday as well. On the other side, Lalim's Martian is standing by with a boots on the ground report, and there's 10 minutes left in the Islanders-Canadiens game. We'll keep you posted on that. You're listening to the Postcast presented by Locked On Senators.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. March Madness is here. It started, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 extra bucks to use on everything, from your buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories to even who's cutting down the nets when the whole thing's done. I've got my eye on some underdogs this year. FanDuel makes it easy to back them with a bunch of different options. You got spreads, totals, game props, whatever you like. You can find it on FanDuel. And tournament games are happening quick. It's called March Madness for a reason, almost every single day. So there's always something exciting to bet on. The FanDuel app is simple to use. And when you win, you get paid instantly. Those green numbers, those trophies hitting your account real quick. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long.
Welcome back to the Postcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, and they're at the CTC watching a 5-1 loss to the Colorado Avalanche was our very good friend, the Martian. You can find him at Lalim's Martian on Twitter. Good night to be in the rich people seats, eh?
It's a tough one. Actually, you know what? If you're looking to get your bang for your buck watching Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon snap it around in the ozone in the first period, I had probably the best seats in the house to see that stuff go down. Those guys are the cream of the crop. I think, you know, if you talk to anybody who goes to NHL games regularly, they would say the same thing. There's a noticeable difference when those two guys are on the ice, and that Colorado team is a wagon, and they should be considered Stanley Cup contenders. Obviously, they added at the deadline. They're a very good team. Man, it was fun for the first 5 minutes. Let's just say that, and then after that, it got a little bit hard to deal with mentally, and obviously, it was over. It was over pretty quick. As soon as they go out 4-0, you know the Sens are definitely, you know, they're in above their boots on that. So it was tough, not perfect, but I still had a good time. But yeah, I feel bad for fans who don't go to games. You know, this is something I was saying to my buddy in the car ride home. I'm just saying, you know, I feel bad because this is one of those games where you got a packed house and you probably got a lot of people in the seats who don't go to games all the time. And this is a huge opportunity to kind of sell them on this team and sell them on the playoffs and sell them on, you know, being a fan going forward. And you lay an egg like that, and it's going to be pretty easy for them to be like, well, I don't want to do that ever again. So it's a little different than, you know, the last few home games that we've seen. But yeah, it was a tough one.
How deflating was the momentum, Martian? Because like you talked about, the first 5 minutes, the Sens were buzzing, and then the Avs get one goal, and you're like, Nathan MacKinnon, most points in the league, that'll happen. Then they get another goal, you're like, oof, this isn't looking good. Third goal happens, and on the broadcast, they were just panning to fans in the crowd, and it was just absolute stunned fans just sitting there like no reaction on their face. The place looked dead. Like, what was that experience like, going from excitement and optimism just down to a complete debacle?
Yeah, it was tough. You go down 2-0, and those two goals happened pretty quickly, one after the other. That Nathan MacKinnon one was kind of like, okay, you know, Nathan MacKinnon's cruising through the slot. He gets a good little shot off. He beats Ullmark. I think Ullmark probably even wants that shot back, I would say. I think if you ask him, he probably want another crack at that one. But you know, the second one goes in, and then you immediately think to yourself, you know, they need to get the next goal. And if they don't, it's pretty much curtains at that point against a team like Colorado. And sure enough, they weren't able to do that. Brock Nelson gets his, and away you go. So yeah, like I said, it was kind of over before it started. And Pilsy, the energy in the building off the start of the game was really good, and it quickly turned into what you might see at a Leafs game, like a little bit of a library. And I got a bone to pick with the Leafs here because, you know, what happened in their game last night is, you know, they kind of pissed off this Colorado team, and then they come into Ottawa. It's like, all right, we're not going to let anything like that happen again here. We're going to at least get one here in Ontario. So
and we deserve that. Like, we deserve those bounces because of the baloney that happened against Colorado 2 years ago, where Mads Sogard had the puck covered, no whistle, and then they poke in what ended up being the game-winning goal. Like, the hockey gods were a night early and 400 kilometers too far west. That pissed me off.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't come together for them early, right? Like it would have been nice if they were able to like at least keep themselves within a goal or two in this one. But you come out of the first period being down 4-0. It's just like, or no, it was 3-0, and then 4-0 happened very quickly at the beginning of the. Am I not mistaken? Yeah, the second period, just like they started on the power play, and
it
they
was 4-0 first.
No, that was
period,
5.
Martian.
It was 5-0 on that first.
Okay, yeah,
power.
so 4-0 in the first, and you think maybe we can chip away at this one. Maybe you can just chip away. Ottawa's a good team, and then sure enough, yeah, they start off on that power play, and right away I see the way that they're moving the puck on that power play. I go, this isn't gonna end well, and sure enough, they ended up scoring on that one. So. Boys, it's I'm not panicking. I think that 2 losses in a row is manageable. You can't let it get to 3 though. Coming into Saturday, they got to get the next one here. It's you can't let this turn into a big skid like we've seen from this team. I mean, we've seen it how many times now this season? At least 5. Where it's they win 5 and then they give up, and then they lose 3 and they lose 4. It's like you can't be that streaky and expect yourself to be giving yourself, especially at this point in the season, give yourself a chance to make the playoffs here. They're in a great spot. They're in great position. They should be able to still get themselves in there just by playing their game. But that was a tough one. And I can understand why fans might be disappointed. That's what I would say. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Yeah, and you say must win against the Devils. Did you happen to see what happened in the Devils game tonight, Marshy? Okay.
No, I didn't. I think there was a comeback of some sort, if I'm not mistaken.
The New Jersey Devils were up 3-1 going into the third period. The Flames made it 3-2, 7 minutes in. And then with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game, they tied it. A minute later, they got the game-winning goal, and they iced it with an empty netter. So I'm not scared. I'm not scared of the Devils the way I am though about the Avalanche. Like if that happened to the Avalanche, they're going to bounce back. I think the Devils without Jack Hughes and without Dougie Hamilton might actually be bad.
Yeah, I mean that's a completely different team than the one we just watched here tonight against the Sens. I mean, like I said, the Avalanche are the cream of the crop right now. They did a great job at the deadline, even as a team who got rid of Rantanen. I mean, like you usually don't come out on the top of when you're trading a guy like that, but Nick has looked good out there, and they're a big team. That Nichushkin guy is enormous.
Crazy.
He's enormous, and he's so skilled.
I saw him play. I went to 2 games in the Winnipeg, Colorado series last year. I think he led that series in goals. He is a horse out there.
Yeah, he's a beast. As long as he can keep himself out of trouble, he's going to be a factor for them no matter what. And yeah, I mean they're just a very good team. And like you said, the Devils are not even close to what they should be when they're fully healthy, and they're completely not right now. And so it should be a good game on Saturday. The Sens should be able to handle them no problem, and I'm hoping for that to be the case because. You can't just keep letting yourself lose these, game after game. You can't go on these losing streaks and keep yourself up above, where you should be. So, I mean, I got the fan frustration where we currently are at right now. But if you're panicking right now, you must be new because this is when it comes down to it. It's crunch time. They're in a great spot. They're a good team. I think Ottawa is going to be fine. It's just tough to see when you go down 5-0. At some point in this game. And then it was nice to see at least Dylan Cousins broke the shutout. That's a little mini consolation with whatever he's got there, 6 points in 7 games. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So
yeah, pretty good. What's not good is we're getting live updates from the chat. Pajot giveaway. Brendan Gallagher ties the game for Montreal with just over 5 minutes left. You knew the stinking Islanders would go to overtime. You just knew the stinking Islanders would go to overtime. Last question for me, Marshy, and then we'll wrap this up. We got a big day tomorrow on LOSP. Again, recording a little bit later on. Your thoughts on the Father's Trip being New Jersey, Buffalo, and where Detroit is the Father's Trip this year.
They maybe are trying to keep Keith Tkachuk out of trouble would be my first thought, but my second thought would actually be that it's all timing based, and they maybe knew that this was going to be an important part of the season, and they were going to need a little extra boost, and post-trade deadline. They've got a solidified roster here. They can all galvanize together with their dads around. And you know how this team usually performs when they get the moms trips, they get the dads trips. They're usually pretty good on these. So it might be just the boost they need just to get themselves out of this tiny little slump that they're in right now with this 2-game losing streak. I like the timing. I like the timing of it. I think it's perfect. So for me, I don't care what city it is. It's more about just like the vibes. And I think that I like the timing. I like the timing, boys.
Okay.
Yeah, the timing is clutch. Maybe they did do that on purpose, the final road trip of the season. But Russ and I are saying, like, Buffalo and Detroit as a 1-2 punch for places to go on the road in March. Not great.
It's tough. Yeah, I mean, at March it's getting, the weather's getting a little warmer. It's a little nicer. I don't know. Maybe the boys are going to hit Chippewa Street there in Buffalo and get out there possibly. But I mean, there's fun to be had in pretty much every NHL city. So as we know, being Ottawa guys, so I think the dads will find their fun, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, big time. Well, hopefully the boys can find some wins on this 3-game road trip, because it's really the last push on the road this season. And then the Sens will come home for 7 of the last 8 games. Pillsy, any final thoughts? I think we've covered a 5-1 loss, I think, as best as we can here.
Martian, Ross and I had our standouts. I took Forsberg, Ross took Zetterland. Any other positivity you can shine here? Probably not, but we'll see if the boots on the ground report gave you a different angle.
Not really, but from where I was in that first period, this is just like something that I thought I kind of laughed at. It's like Tyler Kleven was taking an absolute beating in that first period. Several large hits right in front of us on the ice. I don't know what his, I didn't see like what Kleven's numbers look like tonight. Looks like he wasn't minus anything, which is actually pretty good considering him and Matt and Paolo both just come out with an even plus minus rating in this one. So I'd probably go with Tyler Kleven on that one. Just being able to take hits and make plays and absorb a little contact there. He's a big boy, as we know. And so I think Tyler Kleven, especially early too, he was mixing it up a little bit in front of Ottawa's net. And there's that guy. Sorry, there's a guy on Colorado I'd never heard of. This Middleton.
Yeah. His brother's the guy in Minnesota.
Okay, he's a monster, and he's
6'6".
He's a mean-looking bastard out there too. He's skating around, chewing his gum, looking at like just mean mug city, and he's like 6 foot. He's got to be 6'5", and he's skating around.
6'6".
He's 6. Okay,
240.
Yeah. I'm not mad at this. He's a freak, and he kind of terrified that entire lineup. Whoever was on that ice when there was that front scrum, Kleven was involved, and he wanted. And Kleven's a big boy, but he's not maybe built like quite yet. Like he's not fully filled out as a man. He wanted nothing to do with this Middleton guy.
7 years in the minors for Keaton Middleton before making the jump.
He looks like a guy who spent some time riding buses and eating soggy subs and just he's grizzled. He just he's kind of terrified. I was sitting in the stands 20 feet away. I'm just like, Jesus, I want nothing to do with this guy either. He is scary looking. So a little bit of an intimidation factor from that Middleton guy. So I'll give him a shout out too. Probably doesn't last 2 seasons. So in 143 AHL games, he had 261 PIMs.
Oh, nice.
He's not afraid to mix it up.
Yeah, he was looking for one tonight. Yeah, he was something else out there, I could tell you.
Tough. Well, hopefully no overtime in this Montreal-New York Islanders game, but we'll give you a full standings rundown heading into the weekend tomorrow. Again, tomorrow afternoon recording on LOSP. It'll be out around 6 p.m. Eastern time. For today, we say flush that game. 5-1. Senators lose to the Colorado Avalanche. And the good news is the season series is done against Colorado. Again, they allow 5 goals. That means during this 6-game losing streak, Colorado has scored 35 goals in 6 games against the Ottawa Senators. Truly absurd. Let's get some Go Sens goes in the chat here. Things are still looking all right, no matter what happens in that Islanders Habs game. It's not the end of the world either way. Either the Habs win, and it sucks for the rivalry, but nobody's closer to knocking Ottawa out of the playoffs, and playoffs are the goal. Keeping Montreal out is a secondary goal to that. And then if the Habs lose, then the Habs are a step closer to being out, and they've got more teams to fight with in that 73 to 71 range. So sleep well tonight, Sens fans. Despite our team being terrible, the Rangers lost in regulation. The Blue Jackets only got 1 point in their game. Things are going to be okay. Deep breath, big game on Saturday against the New Jersey Devils. For the Martian, at Lalim's Martian on Twitter. You can find Brandon Piller and myself, Ross Levitan, in the descriptions, in the bio below. Thank you for liking, watching, listening, and subscribing to the Locked On Senators podcast. We are now just 21 subscribers away from 10,000. So be a friend, tell a friend about LOSP. For the boys, we're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.